I really appreciate you jumping on. Want to talk about your music and the meaning behind the music and sobriety and being a husband and wife duo. But you just said that your son's coming home, so your parents as well.
We are
Yes, we
parents,
are.
yes, yes. Oh, and
So
we love
you
that,
you what?
and we love that.
Yes.
I
We
mean, it's probably the best part of all of it.
it is. It is for sure.
You just have the one.
We
We
just
have
have one. He's 12, he's about to be 13. So he's gonna be a teenager next month, which is crazy.
yeah, it's wild. So
I
fast.
Oh my god, the cliches are also true. You feel like, "Yeah, yeah, mom, dad, shut up, I don't care." And then you get to be a parent, you're like, "Oh man, they do grow up fast and time does move faster." And you're like, "Oh my, maybe they were right."
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, I know, like, thinking about, like, how many years are left until he's an adult is just like, that's gonna go by in a blink of an eye. I don't know what happened. So weird.
I I remember reading, an article when I first started to get, like, into more long form articles before the pandemic, so 2018, 2019. I this one got fed to me. I used to save them in this app called Pocket, and then I would, like, read them offline on the way to work. Whether I was on the subway or the bus or whatever, I would just go through. It would strip out the text, and this one was called 18 Summers, and there was this guy talking about how if you distill it down as a parent, you have 18 summers, that's it. And it
yeah,
was just such a mind-blowing concept that the time with the child is so limited because then they leave the nest, proverbial nest, and then they go live their lives, and you're not guaranteed that anymore.
Right. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Wow.
wild, and we're
That's kinda
already
heavy.
we're already at, like, the 13th summer.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, 5 to go.
Yeah,
Ah!
yeah, no,
Oh.
we're real proud of him, though. He's a good boy. He's walking in right now. We're gonna try not to let him know we're talking about him because he's at that age.
Yeah.
Where he would be fair.
Very self-conscious.
Yes, yes. At that age, it's
I
an interesting time.
Yeah. I love ones and threes. You said he's 13. If I'm not mistaken, Nikki, you're 13 years sober, roughly?
Yes. Yep.
That
Um,
boom.
August 12th is my sobriety date, so thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
So, how much of the sobriety has to do with your son and becoming a mother?
100% all of it. August 12th was the day that I discovered that I was pregnant.
Wow.
So it was complete, cold turkey right from that moment. And obviously, it's a process as far as, you know, the healing that kind of has to happen once the actual substance is gone. But
Yeah.
that was the starting point for me, and that's my whole entire motivation. I had a lot of self-loathing going on, and self-worth issues caused by trauma. And so for me, I didn't have it in me to get sober for myself, but once it became about another person and an innocent life, it completely changed things for me. So I feel very lucky. I know that's not the path for everybody, but for me that was a switch for sure.
That shouldn't
I
be
think
everybody's way to get sober. Don't just try
Yeah, I
to
don't
go
recommend it.
don't just go get pregnant.
Yeah. Like, it's not always, a happy a happy ending or whatever, but that was the
yeah,
beginning, a happy beginning.
good for you. I mean, I think you said something important there that, while sometimes problems can seem universal, the solutions aren't necessarily, right? Like, there's so many different paths that one can take to healing.
Right.
It doesn't even have to be therapy. It could be through church. It could be through conversation with friends. It could be something else, but you can find a path to a better life. You just have to be open to it and see what works for you. Um, I want to unpack it more, but before we do, like, how did you guys meet? But how did this whole crazy family business slash artistry fuse and happen? Cleveland dating scene.
Yeah, not
So
not quite, but g
it was actually out in LA that we met.
that's where she's from originally.
I grew up just north of Los Angeles in SoCal, and he grew up here in the Cleveland area of Ohio. But he moved out to LA when a friend of his also moved out, a drummer, and they joined a band out there. And then the band found a YouTube video of me and asked me to join on keys. So I joined the band and it was called Red Circle Underground. And it was kind of just like a 7-piece, kind of almost like a jam rock, classic rock kind of a thing.
Okay.
And that was how John and I met. So like we knew each other and worked together as bandmates and musicians, like,
For
well
a
before,
couple years.
yeah, we like actually started dating or anything. So like we know how to be bandmates like first.
Yeah. Was it a classic tale of, like, friends first and then you fell into love sort of, or
Kinda.
I'd
I
say so.
honestly, I mean, I haven't really put it that way, but yeah, I mean, we like I said, we played together for about 2 years, and then I don't know, out of
Just
nowhere,
kind of
we were in,
developed. We
like,
went on tour.
Colorado, and we were, like, snuggling, and
We
we're
were
like,
the 2
"Whoa, wait,
youngest
what?"
2 youngest people in the band and the 2 hardest partiers. So we were we were
That
up
yeah, it's
late,
true.
everybody else passed out, and we were just, like, hanging out and just getting to know each other on, like, a deeper level.
I made it sound so innocent. You're like, "Yeah, we were the ones up late, still drunk." But yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, so that's how we met, and then, things at first, honestly, we were kind of bad for each other. In a lot of ways, we kind of helped each other get to that rock bottom faster. And a lot of people were kind of skeptical of like, "Oh my gosh, this is turning into like a whole like hurricane of hot mess." And, then when we found out that I was pregnant, it was like, "Okay, we need to make some changes." And I have to like hand it to John because he was like, "Okay, I'm going to leave my whole environment, which is super negative and super like full of drugs and alcohol, so that I can come move in with my sober pregnant girlfriend and then we can figure out a plan." And the plan was to move to Ohio where him and his family were from, to kind of like go work for the family business and kind of just like do the straight and narrow thing and, provide a better environment for our son to grow up in.
She makes me sound too good though, because I was to a point and I knew it. I was still with it enough to know this. Like I was to a point where I needed a change of environment anyway to like, because I knew that I was getting too deep into a bunch of shit that I shouldn't be getting into. And then when we got pregnant, it was like, okay, time to go, time to change. So so yeah.
And we're thankful for it,
yeah. I'm so happy for you guys. That's such a lovely story, and I think that the irony is that change happens by choice or force, and 99% of the time, it's forced. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then once we've been forced to change, it becomes much easier to choose change.
Mhm.
Personally, I was born with a heart condition, and thankfully, when I was 3, I had open heart surgery, and I've had like very strong ticker ever since. I've had COVID a couple times, and it wasn't until like the second or third strain that it impacted my heart, and I had, like, physical ailments because of it, but I was also drinking and partying and not taking care of myself the way I needed to. So for me, getting COVID and having all of a sudden all these scares was what I needed to stop drinking excessively. I still
Right.
drink sometimes, but I learned how to control it through I shouldn't say control it. I have a proper relationship with it now because of how much therapy I had to
Right.
do because drinking was a coping mechanism for other stuff, which I didn't even realize that I was dealing with until a couple years ago. My ex and I split, and that for me was the next big moment in my life where I said, "Okay, what is going on here? This is the second time a relationship has fallen apart, or I'm going through a divorce. I'm the common denominator headfirst into all things therapy and learning about myself. And now it's like I'm actively pursuing change as if it was the drug because it's so nice to feel lighter and healthier and better.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing. Wow.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
You say you were
But similar,
3 years old and you had open heart surgery?
yeah, I was 3 when I had the surgery. It was nothing crazy. I was born with like a congenital heart defect, which now is, I think they can actually fix it in the womb now, or to the
Oh,
point where like they fixed it on day one. It's pretty crazy. But, like, the point is simply that similar to you guys, you have to kinda hit those markers sometimes in order to, like, really progress forward, and,
Yeah.
John, I'm really, like, impressed. Not everyone is enjoying a rock and roll lifestyle and with a beautiful woman, and you're like, "Oh my god, pregnancy." I'm gonna choose that.
Yeah, but like I said, it's I kind of was just trying to remember where I'm from and like the morals that I do have just as a person. And the shape I was in, like I never thought I would do some of the things that I was doing, just like substance wise, you know?
Yeah.
Um, it was a very toxic work environment with a bunch of people who I loved dearly. And you say you're a fan of Anthony Bourdain, which is great because I worked in the back of a kitchen in Hermosa Beach, California, and had who I looked at as brothers for a year. You know what I mean? We were just a team and
Mhm.
a crew. We were so close. And then out of nowhere, you just find yourself like doing drugs that you normally thought that you would never find yourself doing. It just became normal out of kind of nowhere. Um, so I just knew that, I didn't want that to be my story. And I knew like the next chapter after that, if I didn't get it together, was probably going to be the ugly one. Like
Yeah.
I was way out of control and not healthy and not where you want to be already, but like the next step would have been like straight up just addict, I guess, like
Well,
just not functional, not functional.
yeah.
I held a
Would
job.
you
I was functional. I was in a band and I was doing all these things, but I knew that
It was
that had to
coming to an
stop.
e it was coming to an end, and there was a fork in the road,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was like, "Okay, are we gonna die or are we gonna live?"
Yeah, yeah. So, our son really did it for me too, honestly. I mean, she was the one carrying him who physically had to stop, ingesting the substances.
Yeah.
But I guess now that we're talking about it, I mean that was what helped me choose the right way to go at that fork. Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I mean, so it sounds like in many ways, your son saved both of your lives and brought you closer together.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, and I mean, he's almost 13 now, so we've kind of told him little bits and pieces about our history, like, as he's grown, and, I mean,
Mhm.
because he comes to our shows and we talk about sobriety and stuff, because our music is very much, in line with that, with the messaging and our fans and everything, so, we kinda had to, like, make sure that he was kind of aware of things and we got to the point where it was like, "Augie, like, you saved my life." You know what I mean? "Even before you were born, you saved my life," and, he just had, like, this really big smile, and it was like it was really cute, but we try to strike that balance with him too of, like, there is a way to, um, have a healthy relationship with alcohol, but you just need to be aware that, like, a lot of times sometimes it can be like a genetic like predisposition and things like that. So like you just have to always be checking in with yourself.
Yeah.
And obviously he's
Absolutely.
not there yet, but he knows that there will come a time when there will be alcohol and there will be people doing it and it'll be okay, and he just needs to figure out where he's at with it.
Yeah, which is also such an interesting concept, right? Like, being a parent, you have to I believe we should strike this balance of what's the metaphor? Watch them on the playground, know that they're gonna get hurt, let them get hurt, but make sure they don't die, right? It's
Correct.
like
Yeah. Perfect.
Ooh,
Yep.
the stakes are so
I that
high.
that hits me so hard. You're yes, correct.
100%.
so they're gonna make a lot of mistakes, and that's okay because that's literally how we learn, right?
Yep.
To
Right.
err and whatnot. So just make sure that they don't die.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
John, you mentioned like that's not how you grew up and your morals or whatnot. Like what was your childhood? What is your
Uh,
morality, so to speak?
just small town. Not I grew up in a church. I guess I'm not really religious or anything like that, but technically I was in Sunday school. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
you just grow up in a tight knit community and kind of the area where you know everybody. And there's just certain things that you don't do, you know what I mean? You don't hurt people, you don't do drugs, you don't steal, you don't, I don't wanna get into the terrible things that you obviously don't do, but, like, there's just certain things like that you don't do, like, we used to drink and smoke pot and all that, like, in high school, but, like, I would never think that we would do, like, hard drugs, you know what I mean? Not here, but then you end up getting to a place where you did, so like
Yeah.
at one point in my life there was, you know, just some drugs that I was like, there's no way that I would ever do that though. You know
Mm,
what I mean? And then fast forward, all of a sudden I'm in the kitchen and it's like, okay, I've had like 13 beers and if I don't get some more, I'm not going to be able to continue my shift. So,
yeah.
and then you just realize, I guess, that it's like, okay, oh my God, now my girlfriend is pregnant, if you even want to call us that. I mean, we were only dating for like a minute or whatever. We knew each other for 2 years
Yeah.
and we're friends and everything, but like girlfriend, not for long. Uh,
Mm,
and I don't know. I lose my train of thought probably from all the drugs I used to do, but yeah, you gotta just remember I did, like I had thought that I'd never thought that I would be in this position. What's happening? I
yeah.
have a living human child inside of this girl now. It's time to stop fucking around. Get away from these
And
people who
yeah.
you love. Like I said, they were
Yeah, it's
my
not a
friends, my
judgment
brothers.
on them. They are going through their own shit, but it's just that whole, like, peer pressure, like, "This is normal here. We're gonna just be."
And I had tried to stop doing things, but then you get around it, you get to work and you're surrounded by it and stuff like that. And it's like it was impossible for me. So I had to just straight up leave. So like,
Yeah.
that really helped me make that
And
decision.
I mean, healing is hard, and there's oftentimes so many like repercussions and fallouts that happen when you make a choice like that. And it's not just booze. The
Right.
people have issues with so many different things. Workaholic. I had it. I had a lot of issues, and my issue that came out in my last marriage was infidelity. And unfortunately, like I made a lot of poor decisions like you just said, John, that I never thought in a million years that I'd be that person or doing those things. And then eventually one day you wake up and you're like, man, I did do that. But
Right.
I think it's important to have that conversation with yourself, right? And be honest with yourself. And what does Shakespeare say? To thine own self be true. Nothing else matters in those moments, right? Like if you're going to walk away from all your friends, from your job, from your career, but it means saving you and you forging ahead as a better person that is better for the world, impacts positive change, then that's probably a good decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I left work. My boss, everyone was like, what the hell? What the hell? Where'd you go? What happened to John? Da 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 da. And, at one point I called him a couple weeks later and I'm like, "Hey man, I just had to go. I needed a lifestyle change." And he mailed me my last paycheck up to where we were staying and he was all cool about it. Totally understood. It wasn't even a big deal. I made it such a big deal in my head, like they're gonna be so da, 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 so worried and so messed up over this and I'm letting them down and all this stuff. But then I just was straight up with him and told him exactly what it was, and they
Yeah.
were really, really cool, mailed me a check, wished me the best, and that's is what it
And
is.
it was the best decision, even though it
Yeah,
was
Yeah.
hard.
yeah, and it was hard, and I didn't get I got almost sober. I guess there were a couple times where I drank up there, but I never did any, like, hard drugs once I left this certain area,
Yeah.
uh, and,
Well, I
I've
think that
managed to
that's
stay clean since.
good for you. I mean, and I was just gonna say that the clean break is sometimes out of survival, right? Because if you
Yeah.
don't do that, if you don't just peace out from that environment and work or whatever it is, then there's a chance that you'll just be pulled back in, right? Like, oh, like it's been a couple weeks. I miss these guys. Let's go for a drink. And before you know it, you're just back into that routine.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
exactly what was going on. That's exactly it. And I just knew that I needed to get out of there, and it was hard to cut all those ties. And like I said,
Yeah.
all these guys, I still talk to some of them. I love them. There's no judgment, even though we're a sober band. Like this is kind of off of what we're saying, but like we don't cast judgment. We're not like
Yeah.
we're not like a straight edge. I
Trying to.
guess I don't know if that's still the punk rock term or whatever. To where if you crack a beer at a Hook Like Helen show, you're shunned. Like it's not. That's not it. We want people to feel like they can come and have a good time at our show no matter where they are with substances and drinking
Yeah.
drink or
Yeah.
not. Like,
But we just want anyone who is struggling to know that,
there's a way out.
there is a way out and we're there to, like, support that.
And look at us, we're still rock and roll. We're still on stage having fun, headbanging at the party, like having a good time, not missing out, like feeling good, having a
Yeah.
great, and that took a
Yeah,
while to get there. That doesn't happen overnight.
right.
I,
Um,
uh, I love that. I was chatting with a drummer last year, and, oh my god, why am I spacing on his name right now? It's gonna come to me. Frank Zumo. Jeez, I don't know why I forgot his name. Frank's, like, done a ton of stuff, and he's also a very, inspiring man. He also is big into mindset and lifestyle and positivity, and when we were chatting, I came up with this concept of, like, rock star being simply that in order to shine the brightest, to be a star, you have to have a rock solid base.
yeah.
Right? A rock star traditionally sex, drugs, rock and roll, everything's chaos, then there's a crash. That's the opposite of what takes to be a rock star. It takes a strong foundation, it takes a very strong mind. And so I guess, we can come back to the messaging within your music, but what are your minds like? What's the drive like? It takes a lot to wake up and choose to be sober, to be a parent, to be in a family, but also to be a husband and wife creative duo and like do music for life. So do you guys do it because you absolutely have to, because you're stubborn? Why are you hooked like Helen?
All of the above, but I'll let
Yeah.
you answer that.
All of the above. I've been a musician my whole entire life. Making and writing songs has just been what I've done since I was little, part of my own self-expression and just like, contributing something to the world. But I really love what you just said about having the strong base because I did not have that for a very long time because of like my past and my childhood and just being kind of broken. So like, I was always creating music and music was always like the thing inside of me that I wanted to be doing, but I really didn't have the tools and like the self-esteem honestly to like truly pursue my vision the way that I needed to, um, until I started the healing journey. And it's like, I tell people, I got sober on August 12th, 2012, but I didn't I didn't really start that was the stopping of the process of actively dying was that day, but I didn't start to live until honestly the 2020 pandemic when I had like a moment of stillness and, like, stopping and being like, "Holy shit, there's a bunch of stuff that I need to process." And
Um,
that, like, unraveling of that stuff coincided with building a way stronger foundation of, like, okay, this is what we need to do. This is how we need to attack this. This is the sound. This is the vision. This is, you know what I mean? So, like, we were always doing music the whole time. We were in bands, we were in projects, we were writing, for film and TV, whatever. But like, Hook Like Helen really kind of like took on like a new form, I guess, like around the 2020 time period and like continues to get stronger like as I continue the healing process. Cause obviously it's not just like oh, I'm healed now, it's just sort of like oh, I'm unraveling this. Oh, I'm working on that. I'm processing this and like just building self-esteem, building self-worth.
And as you healed in self-esteem, she says, like, sh you were much more talented than she let on. Like, once she started getting confidence in herself, the things that she was doing and pulling off both musically and just like, to be an independent band, you have to really kinda learn how to do everything. You have to learn how to be a graphic designer, you have to learn how to be,
Recording
this,
engineer, like,
that, this, that, and this. You have to do everything, and she's been able to, like, pretty much master most things.
well,
yeah.
jack of many trades.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, it's like being an entrepreneur, anything you do independently requires a lot of work, and, the more you put into it, the more you understand, I think the better overall chances you have of success. It doesn't mean that there isn't value in working with a team and expanding
Sure.
and doling out work to other people, but that's only as possible as you have time and money and things available to you. So, yeah, you gotta take on wear as many hats as possible. You said something there that actually I was gonna bring up later, but this idea of you being even more talented that you let on to believe. I think that oftentimes when we strip things away, we see the talent more. Um, I'm not a fan of Lady Gaga at all. However, when I saw the acoustic piano version she did of her own song, I was blown away. And that same moment happened for me with your music, Goosebumps and all, when I put on, wait, I didn't even put it on, it just came up, the cover of Slipknot's Duality.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
I was
nice.
like, "Whoa, what is going on here? This woman can sing."
Oh,
Not
heck
Yeah.
that you could
yeah. Thank
before,
you.
but, like, for some reason, that cover was raw and subtle and showed so much strength in you guys both, as musicians, as singers, as a team. Talk to me about that. Like, what do you think?
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you, first
Yeah,
of all.
appreciate that
That's
compliment.
awesome. I really love that compliment because that song, that whole like thing, just it took so many weird twists and turns. And there were, like you said, team. We are lucky that we have, different people and have had different people kind of come in and be helpful in certain ways. Um, the first there were different iterations of our cover of that song, and they just were not doing what I needed them to do. So, despite needing to like kind of hurt some people's feelings or whatever, we we ended up collaborating with Sean Michael Rooney on the string orchestration there. We kind of like completely redid an arrangement of the song, and I was just getting over COVID and like had to sing the song, and like so I had to sing it so many times, and just we record vocals downstairs in our home studio, so I'm just
Mhm.
down there. My mom was visiting, she's upstairs, she's like, how many takes is she gonna you know what I mean? Because I just like needed to like get, so it was just like so much went into that.
Yeah, so that,
And like
that emotion you're hearing is real.
real.
She's
My throat
just
was
you
starting to
gotta
hurt.
get it out.
Yeah, because we love the song, super big fans of the band and the song and everything. And we had already been playing it on tour, like to kind of close out some of our sets because it's just such a great sing along song,
It
you know.
Yeah,
moves people.
But we just kind of it just was a hell of a process to get it to where it
yeah,
was. So I appreciate that somebody appreciated it.
Yeah.
absolutely. And
We were
that's not sorry, John, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we were thinking about maybe rehashing just a string version of that, but we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
You never know. It did come up, like, not long ago.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, I mean, and please, by no means does that detract from the quality of all of your other work. It was just for some reason when that song came on, it caught me off guard. I thought that maybe there was like the wrong band in the playlist of your music, but it was just so raw. And with that tune in specific, you can just hear like the talent oozing through the speakers. It was fantastic.
That makes
Thank
me
you.
so happy that we did it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Seriously, that's a great compliment, and we appreciate that. Like, that doesn't take I understand what you're saying, and thank you for saying that it doesn't take away from the other stuff, but, like,
Mm,
everything grabs people differently, and if that's the
yeah,
one that got you in, then great,
Well, and it's like
that's amazing.
it's such
So
an iconic song, so, like, there could always be a lot of backlash or hate, and we actually
yeah,
haven't had any really, honestly, not a significant amount on that, from, like, the diehards, so
yeah.
that's always a good seal of approval.
when we play it, we tend to headbang very hard, so even the raucous rocker
Yes.
accepts it.
Yeah.
You said something cool there that kind of ties nicely into continuing the conversation about the sobriety is that music is, especially the lyrics, is very subjective, right? You know, you hear something and you might hear the lyrics differently from the other person. The meaning is different from you. You put this message into your music that stems from sobriety. However, it seems to be done in a way that is abstract, where it's not, first of all, it's not preachy. And secondly, it's not focused on alcohol. It feels like it's more like just general mental fortitude, mental wellness overall. Do you think that's accurate?
Yes, and, sorry, go ahead, Ian.
Oh, you can talk.
I'm talking way more than I usually do, but once again, thank you. That's good to hear. We love that.
Honestly, like, in this day and age of social media and algorithms and AI trying to put you in a category and niche this and niche that,
Yeah.
sometimes it works against us that we're not just slamming it right in your face that we're talking about this.
Um,
But as an artist and in my heart and my soul, that's and like the artists that I love, that I grew up with,
yeah.
it needs to be open to interpretation. There needs to be a little bit of, like, empty space for someone to fill with their own heart and their own soul when they listen. So, like Sleepwalker, that's our song about sobriety, right?
Mhm.
But really what it's about is about loving someone who doesn't love themselves.
Right.
And so there can be a wide range of, like, how that gets interpreted. And I feel like, it's been really a beautiful thing for us, and honestly, part of my healing, to connect with fans who, resonate with that song. Some of them are people who are freshly sober. Some of them are people who are not sober, but they want to be sober. Some of them are at odds with a parent because their parent is an addict and they had to do a no contact. Some of them, a best friend or a loved one just died. There's so many different ways to interpret that because you want to leave it open. But then at the end of the day, we also really try to have some element of hope, pretty much in any of our songs. Just because it's like just as a person, like if I die tomorrow, it's like what I've left on this planet, I want it to be something like good or something that
Yeah.
could do some good. So it's like, the music, there's all kinds of music for all kinds of different things, so it's not bashing on stuff some that is just 100% depressing. We need depressing music too, you know what I mean? But for me,
Definitely.
it's just like there's always gotta be that little bit of like, "Okay, I really don't feel good, but I know that I will, or I know that I could," you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and sorry, we don't it's like when you listen to Sleepwalker, it doesn't have to be about alcohol, like, not being pigeonhole I don't is that a wrong thing to say? Pigeonholed
Pigeonholed? I
as a
think that's
band?
okay.
Is that okay to
Yeah,
say?
I think so.
That just sings about one thing. I love that even though that is, kind of our platform because, like, we wanna play to everybody, like, I
Mhm.
don't care about your politics. I don't care if I hope you don't have anybody struggling with alcohol, but if you do, you're coming to our show and that's wonderful. We'll try and help you. But if you don't have any interest in that or need help in that area, we still want to bring you in because we can help with anything. We try and create a family, and like
Yeah.
race, background, gay, straight, politics, like we really don't care.
Yeah.
We're all people and we all need some sort of help sometimes with something
Connection.
and
Yeah.
connects.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I talk about this often on this podcast where I'm 45 and I grew up in a world where, people did talk about politics, people did talk about religion. There were also, there was also that expression where it's like a dinner party, you talk about everything except for politics and religion, but people judge you based on your character, not like who you voted for or what you believed in.
Right.
We've lost that. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's been intentional or by accident or both, but that's what we need to come back to. And there is no black and white. I mean, there is, but everything is gray. You talked about boxing and defining, and sure, there are things that work for a general solution, but it's not always the case. And the individual has to ask themselves that because, sometimes you could have a problem with alcohol, but alcohol is not the problem. It's a symptom of something deeper, right? So you
100%.
have to do the work to go inward to ask yourself, what is this? And so I like your idea of having general messaging because it could apply to someone with alcohol or drugs. Maybe it's someone who like grew up with abuse. I don't know. The point is talk to yourself, talk to others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Healing is the best. Music helps heal, and I think that when you have music with a message, that the chances of healing are a little higher.
Yes. I totally agree.
Thank you. It is.
Yep, I mean, I
So
know, like, when I was younger and I was a little girl that was going through all kinds of abuse and I was totally alone and traumatized, I mean, like, my one comfort was music. It was my records, it was my favorite artists, and it was just going and, like, creating a universe for myself where I was somebody else or I was somewhere else or I was safe,
Mhm.
and then that extended to, okay, now I'm gonna, like, yeah, I'm gonna make my own music because I wanna create that feeling, for other people or whatever. And it's just there's nothing else in the world that has ever been able to match that for me. It's like
Yeah.
music is it.
So that's super fascinating. So music was your escape and your safe space. So you started to create your own universe there. And then at some point you said, I want to create this for other people. And then you started to do more inward healing and then realized not only is this a safe space, but now it's a mechanism for me to be able to share the message with other people as well.
Absolutely. That's
Was
what
that
happened.
it?
We
That's what happened.
we've
That's
we've
it.
realized our purpose, and
Yes.
it's because we have truly helped people, and we continue to, and we play for
That's right.
people all the time, and I tell this story all the time, so I'll just bullet point it, but, I mean, at the end of the night, man, there's somebody that comes up to Nikki every time and thanks her for being vulnerable, and is now thinking about dealing with whatever shit they need to be dealing with that they haven't dealt with yet. They're at least thinking about it, and that feels really good to prompt people to, you know,
Do something
try and do
positive for
something in their life
themselves.
that's positive, yeah.
Yeah.
So with that said, I mean, I'm just looking something up because I have a thought to talk about, but Lend Me Your Ear, and then the single that came out, most recently, April 3rd, I Don't Mind. It's you can now that I'm hearing the story, you can see, like, the message there, right? Lend me your ear, come, and let me share with you some of the stuff that befell me, and maybe you can avoid those things. I Don't Mind was about the trauma, like, what kind of trauma, Nikki? What was it that kind of precipitated the drinking? Do you wanna share it all?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't go too deep into it most of the time, I just kind of allude to it, but it was, sexual abuse, like, as a child, and then also, like, really bad emotional abuse from a parental figure who I don't have contact with now, and it's hard because I have a lot of siblings and a lot of family, so it's like I don't wanna make anyone uncomfortable who wasn't a direct perpetrator of
Yeah,
these things, which but that's kind of part of what I Don't Mind is, it's like in the second verse, it's like, "You walk in the room, reopen wounds, you do it every time." Sometimes you can't actually just get away from the person or thing that literally traumatized you or abused you
mhm,
or whatever, and you kind of have to just, like, figure out how to coexist with that, especially as a child, especially when you're not in charge of yourself. Um, so that's, like, literally what the song is about is like, "Well, I can't get better, so I'm just gonna pretend that I am," which
yeah,
causes all kinds of, you know, terrible, like, damage and aftermath, and so, the song's, like, basically about dissociating, from all of
mhm,
that stuff, and that was, like, kind of part of, like, when I told you that, 2020 was, like, sort of some revelations, it was, like, realizing that, like, a lot of the things that happened to me were abuse and were not my fault because there was a lot of, "Oh, let's blame the kid. Let's blame the one who told. Let's blame the girl," whatever it was, and, like, there was
yeah,
a lot of that that got internalized for me at the time and just, like and there were people in my life who I love, who loved me, who didn't know better, and they were reinforcing that message to me just by trying to keep the peace.
mhm,
So it was kind of just being like, "Wait a minute, like, this isn't okay. I wouldn't think that was okay if that happened to some other little girl. So why
yep,
am I thinking it's okay that it happened to me when I was a little girl?" So, like, just being able to lift that blame and that shame off slowly, over time and being able to, like, call it what it was and, build the self-worth,
yep.
it was everything.
I really appreciate you sharing, and, both of you have done similar things in that you were honest with yourself, and then you were honest with other people. I really believe that, the expression, "The truth shall set you free." When you are just honest, when you just own something, especially if it's something you did, it's so important for the healing process. It also takes everyone else's power away. Um, I've had a lot of guests on recently that have been in and around or that work in and around mental health. Jane Astor Rowe, I think I chatted with her, like, last week. She has a podcast coming out called The Defendants. It's a six-part miniseries, and it's all about sexual assault, and, it's just so crazy how much that is coming out now and being talked about more. I think that we as a people are starting to maybe find our voices better and to talk about these things. And when we first started talking, I was kind of saying like it's so important for us to normalize these discussions.
Yeah.
You know, like it doesn't have to be shame. It doesn't have to be taboo. It shouldn't be. I mean, it is very difficult, but it shouldn't have to be difficult because
Right.
it's just life. And sometimes life sucks, and you can't have the great without the bad or the horrible.
Right.
People talk about the good so openly, why not the other? And it sounds like so much of that is echoed in your shows and in the speaking engagements you do, where you're trying to just say like, "It's cool, man. We've been there. We get it. Just talk about it and tell us about it, because otherwise you're gonna carry that weight and that shame yourself, and the other person may or may not, if there was someone else in the equation, they might retain that power unnecessarily just because you're allowing them."
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yep. You just and like once it gets said, and I also have to thank John because he was so my support system during that time that I was
Mm,
unraveling this shit, and he was just listening to me, and he was just like validating me, and just like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, no, that wasn't your fault, and like in dealing with me being like on kind of like an emotional roller coaster, but getting it out and like saying it out loud, like did it just did so much. It just helped so
yeah.
much.
Yeah,
Course.
I actually I might be butchering this, but this is what Jane, said during that chat, that someone said the most important thing, no matter what, is to say it out loud.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whatever it is that happened to you, go and say it out loud and make it real, and that will start so many different processes, you know, to move along or moving along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to hear it, just to say it. It's different. Hits different.
Yeah.
100%. So we should probably talk about, all the positivity and the messaging that you guys have with your music for days, and the fact that you're, going to universities, including San Diego State, and talking about these things. It sounds like this is a huge part of what you're doing with your careers outside of just the music. But tell me a bit about just your general mindset. Like, what is it like in the day in the life of you guys? Do you wake up and you're like, time to grind again, or we'll take today off and tomorrow we'll come back at it. What's your mentality like when it comes to all things creation?
We are continuously at the grind.
Yes. Which
In
I
some
think
in some way or another, we are working every day, but we love it, so it does not stop.
right. I mean, it's our passion and our purpose. So it's not the same thing as like, we're very thankful for because we've done a ton of clocking in. And so it's
Mhm.
not the same thing as clocking in. But it is a lot and there's not a lot of rest. And I do think, that's two things. One, that's just how it goes in this industry
Yep.
because someone's going to be working harder than you. And then two, I think, once you're an addict, like, you're kinda just gonna always be addicted to something, so you gotta kinda pick your you gotta pick your poison a little bit. So,
Mm.
for us, maybe it's workaholic a little bit, maybe it's caffeine a little bit, maybe it's working out,
We
our
we
fitness journey
we try
being
and
a little
get we try
extreme.
and get workouts in every day if we can.
Which is something that we, like, really emphasize when we do go to the universities and we talk because a lot of the students, like, that's one of the first questions is just like, "What do you do to deal with anxiety?" And just, like, on a basic, like, just to lower your anxiety level in general, like, over
Yeah.
time, fitness.
Oh
It's
my god, it's
crazy.
insane how much it helps.
Truly, it was like night and day for me, like, just going like, "I can't keep living like this," to just like,
It could
"Ooh,
just be a
I
half
can deal
hour
with stuff."
jog, anything just to get moving. Break a little
Yeah.
sweat, whatever, go do something that really, really takes the edge off immediately. And like she said, I guess our last vice that we have is caffeine. We do enjoy it, coffee.
Yeah. But we to answer the question, I mean, we just went on like a spring break with our son and we went and visited. We joined my mom and my brother and his wife in Vegas and then we did like a little road trip thing and I mean, we were not only working out in the gym at the hotel, but I was, doing content. We released I Don't Mind during that time period. It was every single day. We did a podcast from the hotel, like it was definitely work still every day.
Yeah.
Because that's the purpose is to just keep,
100%.
climbing.
Yeah, so you feel the same way that I do, where you said it earlier, you found your purpose, you found the raison d'être, and you're like, I can't not do this, I have to do this. Can't stop, won't stop. What about bringing in the marriage aspect? Because I've been in many relationships. It's challenging and not in a bad way always. But like, what do you guys do to check yourselves, to reset yourselves, to continue to be able to work together professionally as well as having a happy home, happy marriage and family environment?
It's a difficult balance, I'll say that. We have our challenges. I think that there's a little bit of a codependency, I think, with us. I think we can admit that. We don't live separate lives at all.
Mhm.
That's probably something that, maybe is a healthy thing to do, but we're so wrapped up with our son as parents, our household, our
Yeah.
and
Project.
project, you know, that it's just like it actually is probably like something that I would say probably could use a little work on is figuring out how to separate, because it's like we're almost like the same person
Yeah, we are kind of.
and our moods affect each other.
We try and like have a date night or whatever, like once every, I don't know, a couple months. We try and get out by ourselves and, have dinner or whatever. But yeah, man, I just gotta just admit this. Like we wake up, we have coffee together. We usually are working out together. We kind of keep each other
We're rehearsing
moving.
together, we're
It's
answering
almost like
emails together.
an accountability buddy
Mhm.
almost. Like I
Each
don't know.
other's sponsors?
Yeah, kinda in a way, whether that's,
Mhm.
actually healthy or not,
100%
I'm not
healthy.
sure, but, yeah, really, like, even workouts, like, I mean, she pushes me in the workout. You should see
Well,
her
same thing.
kickbox.
He's
Oh
like,
my
"You're not
gosh.
gonna stop." Yeah, but at the same time, it's like the highs that we've had, like the achievements, the goal hitting, the moments of like, "Whoa," like we've been able to experience them together
Mhm.
in a way that, like, honestly, you gotta kinda stop and appreciate that. Like, I'm not sure, you know I mean, obviously, every relationship is different, but like, that's
Yeah.
kind of a unique and cool thing.
Yeah, it's
Like,
amazing, like, we did our first stadium. We did KLAQ Rocks the Park in El Paso, Texas. Phenomenal experience, oh my gosh, and the city of El Paso is the most wonderful place, but we went out to this place, I can't remember the name of it, you might, the next day, and we had a Juarez dog because our buddy over at the radio station told us we had to have a Juarez dog
that's like the local specialty,
and
this
and
hot
some
dog with all this crazy stuff on it.
and some other, like, insanely good food, like Mexican food. They don't mess around, it's so good, and that was like a husband and wife thing that was separate from work, but we were celebrating a win.
In in the career,
In the
yeah.
career, so it's always career centered, um, even if it is kinda, a celebration, we're still husband and wife, I don't
Yeah.
know, you got me thinking a lot, like,
But honestly,
honestly.
I can't imagine having it any other way. I know other people can be can be, like, partners in music or business or whatever and not be married, but I
Mhm.
feel like it does give us an advantage to a certain degree because there's a level of trust and a level of intimacy and a level of "I have your back" and all this stuff and loyalty that, like, that's unwavering. We have a
Yeah.
child together, so we're not gonna just go do something shitty, like sign some contract or something behind each other's back, like,
It's
you
much
know what I
it
mean? We
it
are, like, 100% entrenched together with everything
Yeah.
that we do, so I feel like the music side strengthens us as parents in our unity and vice versa. So,
Yeah,
a therapist might tell me different, but
we have to keep going, and we have to do good because we have a
it's everything.
almost teenager in there who, we have to do good for,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
ourselves.
Well, I love that, and I by no means was implying that there's, a right or wrong way of doing things. I even think that because we're human and we make mistakes and we're not perfect, and you said it, Nikki, like life is this healing journey. It's kind of like a fitness journey or a diet journey. It's lifelong, period.
Yeah.
It's not
100%.
something you can do a few reps and do a few sit-ups and you're good to go. It's constant. And if you find something that works for you, let's go back to sobriety for a second. If you find something that works for you that puts you in a position that's better than it was before, but it's not ideal, at least it's better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And what you'll do then is you'll learn more, you'll figure out, okay, this is better, but it's still not ideal. And then you'll constantly add to that and ameliorate the situation until it is perfect for you. And for me, one of the aha moments um, that I had recently was with my girlfriend. We were talking about love and oh my goodness, soulmates and things like that. And I said, I'm not perfect, but this is who I am. And she stopped me. She said, you're not perfect, but you're perfect for me. And I
oh,
think that that is such an important thing for people to remember is that there is no perfection and you will fuck up and you will relapse or whatever it is. Maybe not you will, but you could, you
yeah,
might.
yeah,
And that's okay because when you do that and you make those mistakes, you'll then have a better idea of how to avoid them in the future. So it sounds like you guys have an amazing flow individually and collectively, and that's it's special. So congrats, keep going.
Thank
thank you
you.
very
And
much.
we're not perfect.
No,
We've been working on what we have now for a while, both like husband and wife and career. So we've adjusted things as we've gone to get to where we
right.
are. And we're still adjusting today
Yeah,
to get better and stronger.
but I really
You
liked what
know,
you said, though, about that of, like, it just being like a you're in a better situation, it might not be perfect, because I think that's what a lot of people I think that might be the moment sometimes for a lot of people when they do relapse, is they're like, "Well, my life sucks still," you know?
yeah,
And it's like, "Yeah, but it could suck more," you
Mhm.
know? And it's
100%.
a journey, it's not like this forever, you know?
Yeah.
And that's another thing that we say to the college students a lot, because when you're young like that, you don't have that sort of perspective on, like, like we were saying, our kids are we blink and they're 18, right? Like, the college students, they feel like, "If I feel like this right now, it's just gonna be forever," and it's just like,
Mm,
it's so not true, you know? Like, there are so life actually is long, you know? You just
yep.
have to keep moving forward and understanding that there will be downs and there will be ups.
Yeah.
That's the thing is inaction is the single worst thing you can do. I believe that momentum, movement, action is the only choice because even if 80% of the time you're making the wrong decision, at least you're qualifying out those wrong decisions.
Yeah.
You're getting closer to what it is that is the right decision. This is a really stupid thing. This is what I was looking at before. It's John because you said the words, and for me, they're so important. Do you guys remember this like MTV show called Robin Big? It was with the
Yeah.
skateboarder.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so what was his name? Didak. He had this his bodyguard slash best friend was Christopher Big Black Boykin, and um, he always just said, "Do work." That was his
Yes.
catchphrase was "Do work," and I love that. It resonated with me so much, and that's what I'm always telling myself now. Like, yo, what are you doing? Do work. Go. Come on. And the
Yes.
same thing
I
applies.
I loved that show, and I think he's passed away. Did you say that? Or
Unfortunately, yeah, he did.
oh my gosh, was he so fun to watch though? His personality and their friendship was
Yeah.
the most like I hate it, I'm just gonna say adorable thing in the world. Like they were so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I watched that show and I really liked them a lot. And yeah, I remember him saying, "Do work, do work."
You
Moving
see
forward,
Yeah.
well, the hidden beauty of reality television. There are some gems.
Yeah, 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 he's good. I think Rob, I'm pretty sure he was from Ohio. I think he's a Cincinnati guy or was born here. I remember them visiting his childhood home in Cincinnati in one of the shows.
That's
nice.
really cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, I appreciate your candor and your transparency. This is exactly what I could have like hoped this conversation would have been.
Oh,
Let's
yay.
talk a bit about if you guys are down, let's talk a bit about music because we're all in this crazy music industry. I work with independent artists all the time who are always asking like, what's the solution? What's the the trick, the tips? Give me some answers. there are none. It's all of it. You got to do work.
Yep.
um,
Mhm.
what are some of the things that maybe you have experienced in your career as independent artists, or maybe things that you absolutely cannot live without in order to function at the level, to book shows, to perform, to generate revenue? Like, what are the indie musts?
Everything, like you said, there is not just one thing. If there was, it would be a bazillion-dollar secret to
Yeah.
because it's everything. Like,
It's always move forward,
don't
like you
ever stop
said.
moving. Yes, that's the number one.
Don't
That's
like
the worst thing.
the only like times when we ever felt like, oh my gosh, are we like not doing this, like was when we were waiting for somebody else to do something or whatever, like when we were like, oh, let's not release, or oh, let's hold off on that, or whatever it was, thinking that we needed something else to fall into place. And it's like, yeah, it'd be great if it was a perfect case scenario, but that's like never going to happen no matter what level you're at. So you just have to like
Go, 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 go.
go, go, go. I mean, not be reckless and stupid. I mean, I'm a perfectionist. I'm trying to make sure the mix is correct, the arrangement is right. I got the great take. We, got the video, blah, 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 all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, you have to like check in with yourself and be like, am I doing this to the point where I'm like stalling? you know,
Right.
like, am I not? Sometimes you just got to get it out there, and you just got to keep moving forward. So like, don't wait for anybody else to do it for you. Nobody, people come in and they elevate the project, but no one's going to save you. You have to just always be true to yourself and your vision and continuing to do work.
Yeah.
Yeah. My business partner Lance, who's also one of my best friends, he taught me and also reminds me of this phrase, or expression, sorry. Don't let perfect be the enemy of great, or don't let great be the enemy of good. Meaning, like, we can spend all this time fine tuning something. Is this already solid enough for us to get this out the door? Do we have to waste this time perfecting this more? Or is this really good? Get it out and let's focus on the next thing. Is that other thing will naturally improve over time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta let it go, right? Like a kid, let it go and mess itself up in the playground a bit.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
100%. I mean, we're dealing with that this week actually. We have a visual that we filmed that I edit our videos. So, um I was looking at the footage and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like maybe we should shoot another day this weekend to kind of create this like other concept thing, B-roll, whatever, other storyline." And we were like, because it would be so much better if we did that. And then we're like, okay, that's going to throw so much stuff off if we do that. It's going to put this
Yeah,
behind. And we had to like just kind of say, you know what? We're going to make a great visual with what we have. It's, maybe it would be better if we had this other storyline thing happening, but like,
But what we have hits the mark.
yeah, it
We,
hits the mark
and
of the
as
quality that we're looking
as
for.
long as you hit that mark that is your quality standard, sometimes it's best to just let it go.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So it sounds like having like a specific standard to hold yourself to is also important for you guys.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We feel like there's no reason that, we shouldn't sound and look and feel like what we want to listen to.
Yeah.
So we feel like it's got to be as good as like the stuff that we like.
Yeah,
And that's what we're shooting
we're
for.
trying to compete with the big dogs.
Right.
Uh, my last question, at least like main talking point question. So I'm doing everything that I'm doing because I just feel like I have to. We talked about purpose and passion. The Japanese term is ikigai. It's just like it's the thing. This is my reason. You guys have your reason. But with that, there are other things. Like I really want to help. I really want to give back. I wish I was a billionaire just so that I could go out and help everyone as much as possible.
Right.
Is a crazy example. You guys are passionate about creation and music and putting art there. Is there like a secondary purpose that maybe was accidental? Is it about, the message of trauma and whatnot? Just tell me a bit about that, about, where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? What's your ideal outcome?
Um, I mean, yes, it's the music itself. can help people. We've witnessed that, and it's been an honor, and it's been amazing. So that's purpose there. Extending it out in the very like like cut and dried way of like we're having a mental health discussion and Q&A at a college, like that is a huge extension for us on our purpose. So where we see ourselves is just continuing to grow this project in order to have the means and the platform to help more people. And I know that sounds so like, oh wow, but like it helps us. It helps me and my soul to feel like when I lay down at night that I'm helping other people.
Well,
So
and I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's kind of like you said, like you just have to do it. Like we both, and we've talked about this. Nikki mentioned it. Our cat's interrupting, but we've always had this thing, like even when we were kids, like where we knew at a certain point, okay, we have to do music.
that's just
It's
what we
what
did.
we're gonna do. I know that's why I'm here. I'm doing it. I never had this thing in me where I was like, I want to be a star. I want to be famous. I want to do rock to get all the chicks. I would do, it was never about being rich. It was never about any of that bullshit. I didn't know what it was about. Maybe it was just about the attention. I don't know. But then when we started helping people
Then
and
it clicked.
then it's like purpose.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
So
like
now maybe that's why. And that's like the best reason why ever. Not to sound holier than thou, like that's not what I'm trying to do, but that's literally it.
that cognitive dissonance of being like, okay, I care so much about doing music. Is it because I just want all these things? Because, like, fame or attention? Because actually, no, I'm making decisions that are probably bad for the project because I'm feeling cringe about that stuff,
Mm.
So it's like, what's going on here? What am I trying to do? And then once we started going out and playing these songs on tour and meeting the fans and connecting with them and realizing that we could like make even a small difference, if that was when it was just like, okay, like now it makes sense. And then that's when we started going very hard on everything.
I appreciate your time. I'm really grateful for the candid conversation. You guys obviously have a lot going on. There is touring, there's speaking, there's an album July 14th. Is that accurate?
Um, August 14th is the
Not July.
EP. Nope. I might have said the
July
wrong info.
14th is
Um,
something, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
It sounded right to me.
August 14th is the release show, and that is when I believe we should be releasing the EP. Lend Me Your Ear, from the title track.
And this is what we're talking about. It's okay to make mistakes. You just have to
Oh,
own
all
it.
the yes, just roll with it. That's no problem.
Not at all. Give me another second to drop it
Exactly.
and pimp it a little bit. So
Well, I really appreciate it. You guys are lovely, and I wish
yeah,
you
same
and
to
your
you.
family nothing but the best. The music too, but family first.
Thank
Absolutely,
you.
100%.
Absolutely.
And same to you. This has
Yes.
been really awesome. I
Yeah,
really
great,
appreciate
great
your
conver
time and
great conversation.
yes, amazing.
That's what it comes down to. That is the point. Have a conversation, use your words, get your feels out there because you'll realize that most of us on this floating rock in space are the same and that our politics, prejudices, social foibles, whatever it is, are so irrelevant because we all just want to come home at the end of the day and spend time with our loved ones and be a good neighbor and enjoy life. And I think we'll get back there. I'm very happy for the trajectory of humanity. We're gonna have a few bumps along the way, but I think that the long-term outlook is positive.
Yeah, same.
I love that. Yep.
Do
You
me
always
a
got
favor, hooked like Helen, and give us the final word, the final sage advice that you want to share to the world.
love yourself.
Yes.
Just do it.
Double that.
You
Love
deserve it.
yourself and love someone
You
else.
are worth it. You're loved, and things do get better.
Yes. Boom.